Hey there, sexies. This is the Peanut Gallery producer, V. Before we dive into today's episode, we want to apologize for our audio and video quality. We've got some technical difficulties going on, and we're not all in the same place, so it might affect the overall experience, and we're going to apologize ahead of time. But with your support and your continued praise for our show, we'll be able to get things put together just properly, and you'll be able to continue listening to quality content that we're bringing to you. So, your feedback is incredibly valuable to us. Please feel free to share your thoughts and suggestions. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And with that said, we thank you for your understanding. Let's get started with today's content.
Hello, sexies, and welcome to the show that is going to help you get to initiating, fix all of the hating, and do all the wonderful things that you like to do that also might rhyme with hating. Now, welcome to the show that has the topic that's going to keep you rocking and moving, and that topic, of course, is sex.
Obviously.
All right. Thank you very much. And I am here with my gorgeous co-host, Dr. JJ.
Hey.
And today we are talking about the topic of initiation from a male point of view. Okay? And so the cool thing about this one, at least, is now we get our turn. The ladies have their turn to talk about their initiating. And from our point of view, now it's time to talk about what initiating is from a male perspective. And so when I look at it from our perspective, the first topic at least that we have is signaling and picking up on signals. And the question, or at least the prompt that I had, is, are men oblivious? And I think in some ways, what?
Yes, you are.
That was an open question.
Was it?
For the people.
I answered it. Episode over.
Okay, so the oblivious thing comes from a bunch of different places, because I think women think that they're signaling that they are ready for sex in ways that men don't necessarily pick up on.
It's mild. It's the signal.
Y'all shoot shots like Dennis Rodman. They are. I just seem like you're equipped with all of the things where it should go well. You have it lined up, and it's like, well, but the shot never. Because men, we have to be. We
can dunk though.
Yeah,
we can dunk though.
Y'all
and we play wicked defense. How about that?
Hey, the defensive guy. There's a reason I said Dennis Rodman, right? Because the defense be solid. Like, we know. When the denial comes, we definitely are very much aware of what the denial is. It's the I want to, right? The part, like, that part that makes it difficult for men sometimes to see, like, okay, is she really picking up what I'm putting down? Is she ready? That type of thing. Or even before that, us recognizing when y'all are ready, right? And so for a lot of guys, I feel like we end up we try. Or we try to, right? And I think that's the thing. It's like setting an environment where you are likely to win it. So the first thing that you can do with that is preparation. And that's knowing your woman, knowing what it is that she likes, and in many cases, knowing what it is that she doesn't like. And so, because the fact is, you can kill your ability to initiate at the end of the day by starting off the day wrong. And I think I expressed this in the first episode when we were talking about initiation from a female point of view. But from a male point of view, I think the oblivious part may have just a touch of merit when we started talking about the things that could derail from the beginning.
Yeah, right? Y'all get gun shy. Like, the first denial, you're like, she don't never want sex. I'm a it's like, it's the first she don't succeed. Let's keep trying. But y'all, from my perspective, it seems like you get gun shy. As soon as you get denied or rejected, like the R word like that.
Well,
but it's like it kills it for you. Is that not right?
I think denial can kill it for a person. I think that everybody can understand the idea of, okay, sometimes it's not the right time, right? But if it's always never the right time, then of course, right, it's a problem. I think the issue for men is that we don't get a denial report, right? y'all, you come up like, it's either I'm not ready or I'm not feeling like it right now, or like generic things that we can't handle. Like I got a headache, or it's been a long day, or I'm tired, right? And so when I talk about the oblivious part of it, what I mean is there are elements to that tired, to that been a long day, to those things that we might have been able to help out with from the beginning to clear a path so that sex can be comfortable, right? So initiation is like, okay, from the gun, what is it that's happening? Because as a man, like you gotta know not just the things that turn your woman on, but also like the things that can turn her off. Because the things that turn her off are the things that you need to be on top of in the first place, right?
Like I came home and I was working all day, and you were sitting at home and the dishes are in the sink, and then you want to stick your penis at me.
I mean, yeah, I didn't. I didn't need like there was just a very specific example, which I think no, I'm gonna say you actually did, right? Because I feel like for most guys, you can think of things that your lady complains about and that are right? And so if it is one of the dishes aren't done, man, look, I hate to go mama on you, but you remember when like you used to get ready to go outside and you'd be like, hey, I want to go do blah, blah, blah. And then the next questions that at least my mom would ask would be like, number one, is your room clean? And number two, are the dishes done? Those two questions would be the questions that would lead to whether or not I could go outside and enjoy myself. Now, if I was thinking about these as prerequisites, because now it's getting gross now that I think about this analogy, but I'm just saying, like,
right, I know. Get on back to the topic.
Look, the woman that you with, she very well may be somebody's mama, maybe your kid's mama, right? So at the end of the day, she still may have these sort of things where it's like, if it's messed up in the house, I can't think of whatever. Frivolity, fun, all the rest of these things have to be settled after we do the things we need to do.
Right, because my mind is cluttered.
Yes.
My mind is cluttered, I can't do it.
I was going to say declutter, right? Because declutter can be physical declutter, right? But then there's also mental clutter that can be in the way. Okay, so when we're talking about clearing the table, it can be physical things of picking up your socks, like throwing the kids' clothes in their hamper, doing things that are simple, like putting the stuff in the dishwasher, taking the stuff out of the dishwasher. I think most of the time, men hear about the clutter. We just don't connect the clutter to our results in terms of what it is that we want in the bedroom.
Because it's not a natural connection for you in your mind, right? She complained about these socks and these dishes and the cabinet drawers open, right? Yeah. What that got to do with my penis? Everything. It has everything to do with it.
And I agree that you set up such a strong preamble, too. Because in our mind, it should not have anything to do with it, right?
It has everything
like, what them socks got to do with that? But it's not just the sock in the mind of a woman. Sock left there because you don't care. And that sock, she's not just looking at that sock thinking about the cotton that makes up the sock. It's the fabric of your relationship. Right. And that hole in the corner of the sock.
It's your inconsideration.
Yeah, it's all of it. It's all of that. She done built the whole world around the sock.
Because you lazy, you slovenly.
Look at this. It's like
you inconsiderate. And I got to look at the sock. And you know the sock annoys. And so you know what's going to annoy you?
See?
No pom-pom. How about that?
See,
if I got to be annoyed, now you're going to be annoyed too.
You see how she was able to create an entire battle?
Yeah, I'm not saying that's me. It's not me. Actually, literally, it's not me. Can you tell the people it's not me?
I'm going to tell them it's not you with me, but I will also tell them that it could be any woman. Something is her sock, y'all. There is something out there. I can promise you. For every woman, there is a sock of the floor that is going to be bigger to her than it ought to be, than it is to you, certainly, than you think it ought to be. But man, if you don't get that sock out your way, like, see, here's the deal. It's not a big deal to you.
The sock is the metaphor.
But why you let it stand in your way if it's not a big deal to you, right? And so do the things that are likely to clear the way for you to get what it is that you want.
Let me ask you a question. That is a great way to explain it. So then what are your moves then? So I've identified the clutter, right? And I know that I have to clear out this mental clutter in order to put my moves on to my lady. Mm-hmm. What are those moves?
So again, it's about knowing how she is and what she likes. If your lady likes acts of service, right? Then you find something and you do that thing for her. It's ironing the blouse that she's got on. If it's putting her purse and her sunglasses out there, something like that. Do something that is an act of service that you know that she's going to like and appreciate. And then you look in her eyes and tell her that she's sexy as she thanks you for it. Right? You gotta compliment her, right? Why do you have to compliment her? Because women feel sexy when they feel pretty. Okay? So no matter, I don't care if it's eye boogers all over. She's fine. Damn, woman, you look gorgeous. Here, take this coffee in this mug. I milled the flour with my knuckles for you, baby. Give her a little crazy story. She know it ain't true, right? But you see how she laughing right now? That's how it works, right? Versus a
laugh you right out your head.
Boom, ankles in the air. I'm telling you, I ain't never been tall or light-skinned or DeBarge adjacent in no kind of way, right? But the fact that I'm able to do this is just an indication, I promise you. It's all about the execution, fellas. You can do this, all right? So you find out what it is that she likes, right? So if it's active service, then do something, right? If it's words of affirmation, then say something. Now, I'll say this: not every woman is a words of affirmation woman, but you gotta say affirming words to every woman that you like and want to be with. That's like, you gotta do that, right? There may be varying levels of appreciation, but they gonna do that. Okay, you gotta do that. All right.
Wait a minute, hold on. So let's rewind because you said a lot, and I don't know if they caught all the things that you were putting down. So you start by tapping into your lady's love language, so you know she's an active service person, right? So you do that act up front.
I'm gonna do something.
Without being asked. That's right.
See, I'm trying to get it. Right? So this is the deal. Like, I think that back in the day we had it right when men would be like, I'm trying to get some. Now, I'm just like, this sounds horrible when you think about that in a relationship, saying it like that, right? That's how you got her in the first place, trying to get you somebody and something that you was wanting from her because she was pretty and all the rest of that.
So you got there by pursuing.
Exactly.
So in the relationship, you continue to pursue. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, you gotta pursue. Now if she making it too hard to catch you, then you need to think about whether or not the pursuit is in the right direction. Right? It's gotta like her, Dr. JJ, she is the perfect white woman in a horror movie in terms of me catching her, right? She gonna fall, right? She gonna run into the dark room. She's gonna do everything that goes along with the victim getting caught. Now that's a message to you ladies, right? Don't make it so hard. Don't be the fastest girl in the school and catch a girl, kiss a girl. You gotta be the stumbling one.
Don't be the track star, lady.
Right.
Don't be the track star. You gotta trip and fall.
Right. And gentlemen, if she's running that hard and she's running in zigzags, like she don't want to get caught for real, like you shoot for real.
You gotta be like Richard Stark. Don't zig. Don't say it.
Right.
Okay? Just
Right.
get caught.
It's like, you got me. That's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's got to be. Okay, you can't be making them chase all hard, but like there's got to be that element of it. Okay, so if she's a gifts person, bring a gift, and the gift doesn't have to be a big gift every time. Heck, even a penguin brings them apple. Like if that's what it is that makes her tick and makes her ready for you, then why would you not do those things? I think so many times we as guys get to a place where it's like, okay, we dating, right? So now we're in a place of relationship where I have to date and have to pursue it anymore.
Complacency.
Yeah. And then you stop taking care of not only the things that you gave to her to make her feel sexy and appreciated, then you start doing the things also that made you sexy. You knew you had a shirt that was decent looking with no stains on it. It was iron. You knew your drawers, especially your drawers, because you won't take pants off, actually get what it was that you wanted, and then your drawers look ragged. So no, you had clean drawers.
You were smelling good.
That sock, both metaphorical and real, your socks were whole. And new. You might have bought brand new socks for the whole thing.
There was no holes in them.
Exactly.
Right.
So you start doing things when you're trying to actually get sex, get close, get a woman to like you, love you, all of that stuff. You presented yourself in a certain way.
And then you get in a relationship and you stop presenting.
And fall off, right? You don't have to fall off. Call y'all sexies as the fans of this show because we expect you to take it seriously. The sexiness that you have is both real sexiness plus potential sexiness. There's all sorts of sexy
even
that
if
can
you
be
sit here
had.
today saying, I'm not sexy, you will be.
That's right.
You will be. Believe that.
That's right. Sexy is as sexy does. And that is true. Forrest Gump had right. If you are not doing the things to keep your body tight, to keep your mind right, to keep your face and your skin looking like that person who your woman was attracted to, then why are you surprised that she's less attracted to?
Yeah, I think because a lot of times in the conversations we hear about women falling off, right? Getting into the relationship, oh, you get bigger, you fall off, your hair ain't looking like that anymore, you're not wearing your makeup, or whatever it is that the falling off category is, right? We hear it all the time. We hear men are visual people. Guess what? Women are visual too. We saw what we saw too.
Yeah.
We got eyes. We saw you. And then we get into a relationship and then everything gets comfortable. And it can get comfortable on both sides. But that comfortable, complacent state is not for sexy make, right? It's not making a sexy environment at all, right? And I will say here, every man that has gotten comfortable with me in a relationship is no longer in this relationship.
I mean,
right? Because I'm not going to sit around and watch you deteriorate, right? Over time.
Yeah.
Your socks no longer match. They have holes in them. You no longer shave your head the way you were shaving your head. Yeah. You don't put your smell goods on. You was looking good to pursue, and then you got in a relationship, and then you got regular.
Yeah, I was gonna say in many cases it's not even regular. You flat out showing disdain for the other person. You knew damn well with them
sweatpants that you need to look good for. You were looking good for the person to get them, and then you don't think you can continue to look good for that person,
right? And that and I can hear brothers shout right now. But it go both ways though. Yeah, but you only get to control one way.
Yours.
Exactly. So you get like if she is raggedy looking and committed raggediness,
then you need to rethink your situation.
Right, exactly.
We're not telling you to sit there and stay in a complacent state with someone that's not showing you effort.
Right.
But what we're saying is you can only control your side of it.
Well, and that's it, right? It's always gonna be an unsexy stalemate if you in raggedy sweatpants, and then she in raggedy sweatpants.
Y'all just raggedy together.
And y'all having a raggedy standoff. It's not just that y'all don't want each other. Ain't nobody gonna want either one of you by the time that you through raggedy eyes in yourselves, right? Like you just
not raggedy eyes.
You know, let yourselves go. You know, let yourself.
Put that in the dictionary. You know, raggedy eyes yourself out of a relationship.
Exactly.
The negacity of it all.
Right. Y'all all just went on here and said, okay, we're gonna go to the actual root of the worst of us, right?
Right.
And so in terms of sexiness, I believe sexiness is about being your best version of yourself, right? That's when you feeling like that positive energy, that extra love, that willingness to share and that want to be touched. That comes when you're feeling good about how you look, when you're feeling good about how you feel emotionally, when you're feeling good about the connection that you have between you and that other person. But all of that has to be cultivated, and it has to be cultivated for at least for your part, from your side. Right. So as a man, you got to do your part. You gotta look the way that you know do your best to look the way that you look. And when y'all met in terms of the attraction, right?
So let me ask you a question. So say your partner has a preferred style, right? Mm-hmm. Preferred initiation style from you. Do you think that you can do anything to adjust that style that makes it comfortable for both you and her? So say you like to pursue it one way, she prefers a different way. Is there a way to adjust that partner's style so that you're more toward the middle?
Conversation is a part of that too, right? Like you got and a level of compromise. So if you see a man striking out with the same move every time, right? Like help the brother out.
Help him.
Yeah, help your man. Right? Please, we love when y'all tell us with words. Men like tools and men like accomplishments, right? So if you tell us a thing that is going to get us to the output that we want, we will do that thing. Right? Sometimes we'll overdo the hell out of that thing and do it immediately right then. And that's all we're going to do.
That's not the message.
No, I'm not saying it's the message. I'm just saying you got to give the man something so he can start to build into a repertoire.
Help him build a toolbox.
Right? Yeah, you can't. If all he's got is a hammer, then everything is gonna look like a nail because it's the only tool he has, right? So you gotta
hammer the mess out of your service.
It's gonna be all kinds of hammering. Oh, you say you like Cheesecake Factory? It's gonna be cheese. It's gonna be Cheesecake Factory everywhere. Cheesecake in the refrigerator, in the freezer, cheesecake in the cooler outside, and cheesecake everywhere. Why? Because he had built into his head that that's the one thing that you like. Let him know the things that you like.
Give him a variety. Right. Give him a pick.
And something because I want this to stay on the male perspective. You have to pick whether or not she's super vocal with the things that she's liked. She tells you what it is that she's enjoyed. They tend to tell you what it is that they don't enjoy, and you have to keep record of that mentally. Or we have phones now. Look. We do all kinds of scheduling for all sorts of things. Man, put that birthday in there so you ain't having to worry about that as a date you forgot. That creates clutter. You put the anniversary in there so you can do the same. Like, do those things, keeping yourself right and keeping yourself ready and keeping yourself attractive. Those things are table stakes in a lot of ways, right? People don't have sex with folks they're not attracted to. In general. So why are you doing things that make you unattractive and expecting the individual to be attracted to you?
Take me as I am. No, I'm gonna leave you where you was at.
That's not fair, right? It's not fair. And it's not fair for her to do it either. But again, right now, we're talking about you and what you do to try to get ahead. And that's the thing too. Anytime you go back and forth where, oh, okay, she's doing this, well, I'm not gonna do that, right? Nah, because it's going eventually that type of still may push you in a spot when you're pushing each other away. And eventually you get far enough from one another. If there's no connection, no perceived connection, really you get to a place where it's like, I can take it or leave it. And right. I think most of the time.
And tit is petty.
Yeah, it is petty. And men, you say you want to be perceived as a leader, right? And I think most of us do. All right, you can't get distracted or sidetracked based on what it is that you see somebody else doing, even if it's yours. You can address that, but you can't be a leader and stop leading, right? If you want these outcomes, if you want her to look at you as though you are sexy, then you gotta be sexy. You gotta do sexy. You gotta dress sexy, right? You gotta pay your bills sexy. You gotta handle your business sexy.
Paying bills be sexy. Handling your business be sexy.
And it's wild how I see cats arguing with women frequently on social media about what it is that they like. Like, oh, well, you want a man that pays bills, you can pay your own bills. Look, she's telling you what it is that she likes. Pay your bills, do your thing, handle your business. These are all good things for you as a man, by the way, to handle your own. If you're going to host a date with her, pay for the date. Don't let that woman pull her pocketbook out of her slacks or out of her. Man, don't make that woman spend no money if you are trying to show her.
Let me tell you how much of a man Dr. Love is. He don't even know what be going on in the pocketbook. Do you hear him? He said pull the pocketbook out of slacks. You know why? Because he's a man. He's thinking about pulling his wallet out of his pants. Look. He don't and I'm gonna say this for men and women. He does not get caught up in what all go on with women's business. It be women's business. He don't even know what be going on in purses, y'all. He don't be caught up in that. He is a man that leads as a man, and he caught up in man's business. Yeah. Don't be worried about what's going on. You sit down. He don't know what you got. $5, $10. He knows what's happening in your purse. He knows what's happening in his wallet as a man. Yeah. And that sounds transactional, and it sounds like, oh, this is old school, whatever. I know the kind of man he is. He knows the kind of woman I am, right? And so we don't go back and forth and no kind of who's in this role, who's in this position, what you got, what I got, who bringing what to the table. It's not even, man, let me tell you something. Before this social media, internet, pop-up craze of everybody got a podcast, right? We don't even have no conversation of bringing what table are we even talking about, right? We have not had that conversation. And we don't talk about who brings what to the table. He knows where he is as a man, right? He leads through his example. And I follow that example because I trust that leadership. And so all of y'all that get caught up in my initiation is not working. I'm going back and forth, the tit for tat. She's paying this type of bill and I'm paying that. All of that leaves you right off a cliff. Because you are in lanes that y'all can't maintain. I stay in my lane and in my role and in my energy as a woman, and he stays leading us as a unit, as a man.
There's enough to focus on in terms of what you're doing on your own, like your own business endeavors, your own work endeavors. Notice us those two things separately. Your own mental development and progress endeavors in your physical endeavors in terms of what it is that you're trying to do goal wise. You can't run her goals for her and tell her what she should be doing as a woman. Now you get to decide what you want to deal with as a man, but all you ever get to be, even at your absolute best, is the best version of yourself, right? You don't get to choose what somebody else is going to be. You do get to choose what you're going to tolerate and who you're going to be around, who you're going to spend your time with. Completely different decision making. But if we're talking about a person that you know is worth it, that you know you care about, you know the things that make her tick and what it is that she likes, then try to do those things throughout the day and tell her throughout the day that you care about her in a way that rings true for her, right? That's the deal. And so it is, I hate to say that it's an exchange, but kind of in a way, it's sort of an exchange, right? You are giving her what it is that she likes. She is giving you what it is that you like. And man, y'all are exchanging what it is that you like with one another. But it all is predicated on attraction in terms of keeping things fired. Now, how do you attract one another? Here it is, right? There were things about you that she looked at you and was like, okay. Now I know, like,
I can hypnotize on that one.
Right, exactly, right? She's like, she pushed you while you were out. You smelled just right. Hair was right. Your clothes were right. You had the car washed, smelling like you're supposed to smell. Those things are the things that you want to keep up, bro. You can keep them up. You can. You choose not to, and then you're like, well, she don't want me, and then you're like, so I'm not gonna dress up. So you end up pushing yourself further into that cycle, right? And here's the deal. Remember, gents, if she don't want you, some woman will. But in order to be wanted, you gotta be wantable, right? So if you dress right, if you smelling good, if you handling your business, young woman, if she don't want you, then okay. But she made a mistake when she let you walk out that door, wantable like you are, right? And so be wantable.
But wantable,
That's right?
Because I know there are people listening and being like, see, I'm doing all this. She gonna be mad when I walk out the door. Be wantable. Yeah. Some of y'all are not real about whether or not you're wantable or likable, right? You're not real about that. You don't really look at yourself in the mirror and say, am I a likable person? Am I someone to be wanted, right? And sometimes we can put on all of this false adornment, but you still don't have the skills inside to be wantable, right? You said something in our last episode about initiation being an all-day process, right? And so as someone that takes care of all of your external business, right? You also take care of your business of adulting as a life, right? Then what do you do besides that, right? To create that initiation, that all-day sexy environment for your partner, so that at the end of the day, you're not striking out.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's not enough to just be sexy yourself. That's a wonderful thing, and it makes it easier for the connection. But now you got to actually create the touch points for the connection, right? And so, at the beginning of the day, good morning. Good morning, my love. Good morning, beautiful. How are you this morning? If you're a hotel, good morning, excuse me, grand rising, queen.
No, stop, pause,
what?
Rewind. You lying to people. That is not how you start the morning. Be real. Be real. How do you start your day this morning?
I look.
Don't you dare. Some of y'all like it. That's okay. That's okay. If you love it, I'm here for you. You like it, I love it. Don't lie to the people, Dr. Love. I'm talking about you. How do you start your morning with your initiation practice? How do you do it?
It's good morning, my love, with you. I'm saying for others, it may very well be. I don't have
this man starts his initiation practice by face diving in between my legs. He's like, oh, you because you want to be up there.
Look, all right. Okay.
Be honest. What do you do?
This is what I'm talking about when I'm away or something like that. But yes, okay. If we're talking about initiating in the morning, I would say if you are going to initiate with something that you know she likes, right? And so if you can't be stingy about using your mouth on your woman if you want her to be excited to have sex with you. This is probably one of the things that I don't know whether you talk about it at the beginning or talk about it at the end in terms of initiating, but women are far more likely to have clitoral orgasms than they are to have orgasms from penetration. They're usually a lot more stimulated by oral sex, right? And so what you have to do as a man is go down and get not just get comfortable with it. You gotta start liking it.
And right? Go down with a plan. Don't go down and get lost.
I mean, yeah, you go down with a plan, right? Yes. A lot of the action is right around the top of the edges. You want to
don't traumatize.
I just say, there's a diagram there, just to give you a little bit of a little bit of reference there.
Yeah.
Around the activity top area is where you're gonna find a lot of satisfaction.
Push the button.
Yeah, don't just push it. You gotta lick and different directions.
Okay, all right, okay, and we're back.
And a little bit of vibration. If you can imitate a rose, that's right. Was it Seal that wrote a song about a kiss from a rose? Was it?
Not Seal.
It was for it was for the Batman movie.
Okay, so now we're okay. All right.
Okay.
And we're back.
It was.
And
okay.
We're back.
So
you start by
imitating the role settings
in a way that she enjoys.
Yes. Initiate in a way that she enjoys.
Right in the morning. Right off the rip.
Right off the rip. Yeah.
Correct.
Right. And then you're like, good morning. How would, let's get our day started after the good face wipe and everything. And she's like, okay, this man is nasty. And I know that because it's the face that she's giving me right now. It's that look right there. It's like, oh, he's so nasty. But also look behind me. Look at it. She's curious about it. Mm-hmm. And she already knows. But yes, she's still curious. She can't wait for this episode to get done filming because she's thinking about all the things that we've been talking about that I'm likely to do to her. You gotta feel that anticipation in the woman, but she's ready to go ahead and slip that little thing off the side right there, the little spaghetti strap. Yeah.
Okay. So.
Hey, look.
Look. And then we go to work. And then what happens? I'm trying to keep us walking.
And where we go to work, right?
Mm-hmm.
No. Okay. So you got her in the car. She's bubbling in the car already, right? And then okay. So she's riding to work. How long is that drive to work? If it's a long one, man, send her a text or just give her a call and talk to her like you talk to a woman that you trying to have sex with. How you doing, Bill? What's going on with you, sugar? What you got going today? What's your interests are? Who you be with?
Shut up.
But you try
to do that though. On my drive to work, after I've already had the good morning delight. Right? On the drive to work, you continue to stoke on the way to work.
Yeah.
And then I'm at work. And what happens around lunchtime? What you do?
Well, depending on the day, but I'm going to find out and inquire at least whether or not you ate or you have a plan to eat. Right? And so if you don't have a plan to eat, then I will send lunch if it's within my abilities. If it's not within my abilities and I can't do it, it's not a big deal. But what have I done? I'm inquired, right? I've inquired about whether you eat, right? So I started the day by eating you and giving you a sexual appeal to begin your day, right? And then I'm giving you a little bit more, telling you, like, damn, you fine. You look good. Going to work, huh? I like a working woman. Yeah, that means you ain't going to be homeless. It don't matter what you're saying. These are sweet nothings, all right? It's sweet nothings, right? Then you're showing concern about making sure she eat at lunch, right? So it's like, oh, okay, wow.
So you start the day by eating, and then midday you feed her.
Yeah. And then by the end of the day, when she comes home and you done cleared the socks and you still looking good and you smell like that right cologne, whatever, and you come in and she like, this man been talking shit all day.
Oh.
And that's how you wanted to feel, right? You wanted to feel like, okay, you've been talking shit all day, right? And so whether, after the lunch, you could do another one, like, midday. A lot of times it's meetings in the afternoon and evening. But, you could send her something too. Look cute, find yourself the right angle, and then maybe send her, if she happens to like pictures of you scantily clad, send her a G-shot.
Big pics right before my meetings. That's what you be doing.
You send her what they like. If she's,
I'm about to go into a heavy meeting and ping on my screen.
There you go. You about to get this meat. Because I've worked my way up. To where it is that we're going. I don't want it to be any ambiguity by the time we get to the end, right? So it's like he's 33 and
this is what that home when you get here.
Right. Hey, sprinkle it in there. Classic writers call this innuendo. But maybe it's a little more direct than innuendo.
Boy,
it's innuendo.
I don't know, that thing done fell out on my forehead. Fell out of me on my phone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you gotta dispense with the subtleties, right? But by the end of the day, what have you shown her, right? You show her that you care about her mental well-being by getting rid of the clutter. You show her that you think she's pretty. You show her that you care about her sexual satisfaction. You showed her that you care about whether she eats and you're taking care of her. Man, if she don't want to give you none by the time that she get home,
she the wrong woman.
There you go.
That's what I'm saying. She the wrong one.
She don't want you. She might want somebody else. She might not want nobody.
And ladies always have a flood of things from people trying to get at them in their inbox. Every single woman has a flood of DMs.
That's true.
What my man does is flood my DMs.
That is true.
With him.
Yeah, no.
If
you're gonna be getting pics of me, you're gonna get some pics of mine too. And mine gonna be in there full. Like that's gonna be there just to remind you that whatever they're showing you, that's right. This your Thor's camp. This is right here that you get to spin around and fly on.
Okay.
And so whether they send stuff or not, I'm sending mine. And yes, whether they send it or not. If you got a beautiful woman and she's on social media, she is getting dick pics. You should be sending her something
videos
sexy from you.
Oh, God.
Requisition requests, all kinds. They got people that's beautiful, like walking out on Instagram, throwing you beautiful queen. Oh my God, you so gorgeous. I drink your bath water. All right. Now, if she's got men saying that to her, and then she's with a man, and she's with a man who's not telling her she's beautiful, it's a problem, right? In terms of all of it is about preparation. It is about creating that environment. It is about making it so that the ground for sex is and feels fertile. And all of it starts with your actions first, right? Notice these things that I told you, all things that you have control over. This is all stuff. Well, I mean, I guess you can't go down if she don't want. But if there's a thing that she likes that you can always do, right? If it's toe sucking or whatever, that she's going to 100% welcome. Do that thing. All of those things, right? And do the things. Okay, so do things that make you feel sexy, and do it on repeat for multiple reasons. Not just because the fact that your partner's going to find it sexy, but because you will be sexy being that best version of yourself.
It cultivates the sexy inside of you.
Yeah, right? It's whether they do the right thing or not, it's about you doing what you're supposed to do. You can evaluate later whether or not all of these great efforts that you are doing are being, whether they're being spent on the right person. And and that's going to be something that, that could be a conversation that ends up happening later. right? Or it could be the end of a relationship. Who knows? But you can't control what another person does. All you can control is what you do.
So I'm gonna ask this final question. So with all that being said, does it really matter whether or not your partner's in the mood?
You know what? I feel like mood is always a problem. If you leave things to mood, you never get anything done. If you only work out when you feel like you're in the mood to work out, if you pay bills when it felt like you're in the mood to pay bills, if you do something sexy when you just feel like it's the mood time, the likelihood of both of you guys just being in the mood based off of feel and no action isn't very high. You're probably not going to maintain much of a connection. When you have two people that are attracted to one another and you cultivate that attraction and you stoke those fires and you begin even at the start of the day with the end in mind, then the likelihood is without something coming in to mess the situation up, kids, I guess it can be that they can be that outlier that you don't know what's gonna happen, right? But again, you've done the things that are necessary for you all to have a very sexy time and a very sexy relationship. And whatever happens from the outside is outside of your control anyway, right? So you do the things that you can do to handle what it is that you want to have happen and to come up with the outcomes that you want to accomplish. That's just the way I see things.
Well, there you have it, sexy. That is a wrap. So if you like this podcast, go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, share widely. We are available on all your podcast platforms, wherever you get them, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on Google, on YouTube, everywhere. So go ahead and share us widely. And thanks for tuning in to another episode of Sex.
Obviously.
All right.